Luke, an adventurous and thrill-seeking young man, had always been drawn to the mysterious and macabre. With an insatiable curiosity and an unwavering determination, he embarked on a fateful journey to explore the infamous Ravenswood Cemetery, known to locals as the most haunted graveyard in the region. The cemetery was nestled on the outskirts of a small, isolated town, bordered by dense forests that seemed to whisper ancient secrets. Its entrance, marked by weathered stone pillars, loomed ahead of Luke like a foreboding gateway into the unknown. Undeterred by the chilling tales that had circulated for generations, he stepped through the gates, his heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As the sun dipped below the horizon, darkness descended upon the graveyard, casting long shadows over the rows of weathered tombstones. Luke's flashlight illuminated the crumbling paths, revealing epitaphs and faded engravings that chronicled the lives of those who had long passed into the great unknown. With each step, the air grew colder, as if the very breath of the deceased danced upon his skin. The stillness was punctuated only by the haunting symphony of rustling leaves and the distant hoots of nocturnal creatures. Unbeknownst to Luke, Ravenswood Cemetery held a dark secret. It was said that a malevolent spirit, known as the Shadow Dweller, roamed the grounds, preying upon those who dared to disturb its eternal slumber. The entity was said to be a twisted amalgamation of lost souls, its presence emanating an aura of malevolence and despair. As Luke ventured deeper into the heart of the graveyard, a sense of unease settled upon him, as if invisible eyes were watching his every move. The atmosphere grew oppressive, and the familiar crunch of footsteps on gravel was accompanied by an unfamiliar echo, as if the spirits themselves were tracing his path. A sudden gust of wind extinguished Luke's flashlight, plunging him into an inky blackness that seemed to swallow his very presence. Panic gnawed at his insides, but he mustered the courage to press on, feeling his way through the tombstones with trembling hands. Whispers, barely audible, slithered through the air, the disembodied voices of the long-departed. They seemed to beckon him further, their words incomprehensible yet laced with a foreboding warning. Luke's heart pounded in his chest, his breath quickened, and beads of sweat formed on his brow as he pushed through his rising terror. In the distance, a flickering light caught his attention, a small, dilapidated chapel that stood as a solemn sentinel amidst the graves. Drawn towards it, Luke approached cautiously, his senses heightened with each creaking floorboard beneath his weight. As he stepped inside the chapel, the air grew thick and suffocating. Shadows danced upon the peeling walls, their forms twisting into grotesque shapes. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows that seemed to sway to a spectral rhythm. From the darkness emerged a figure, a silhouette of the Shadow Dweller, its form shifting and contorting as if composed of living darkness. Its eyes, pools of malevolence, fixed upon Luke with an intensity that froze his blood. The spirit unleashed a deafening wail that reverberated through the chapel, shattering the stained glass windows and rattling the very foundations. Terrified, Luke felt an invisible force constricting around his throat, choking off his breath. He fought against the ethereal grip, gasping for air as his vision blurred. Summoning every ounce of strength, Luke's voice pierced through the chaos, a desperate plea for mercy and release. The haunting specter hesitated for a moment, its form flickering as if caught in a momentary struggle. Then, with a final bone-chilling shriek, it dissipated into the shadows, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread. Luke stumbled out of the chapel, gasping for air as he emerged into the moonlit night. The cemetery, once an enigma he was eager to conquer, had claimed its toll on his spirit. As he fled through the graveyard gates, he knew he would forever carry the weight of that harrowing encounter. From that day forward, Luke's nights were plagued by restless dreams, his sleep interrupted by visions of the Shadow Dweller and the anguished whispers of the long-departed. Ravenswood Cemetery remained a dark and foreboding place, a reminder of the price one pays for curiosity and the unyielding power of the supernatural.